Embarking on a personal experiment often begins with a simple question, and mine was this: could a common garden herb, one I've known my entire life, genuinely make a noticeable difference to my daily well-being? Well, I decided to put it to the test. For 30 consecutive days, I committed to integrating rosemary into my life in every practical way imaginable. This wasn't about chasing a miracle cure, but rather a methodical, curious exploration into the anecdotal claims and emerging science. I plan to use it in my cooking as a tea and as an ambient scent in my workspace, documenting any subtle shifts in my focus, my mood. The scent of rosemary evokes deep sensory memories, like Sunday roasts, sizzling potatoes, or a sun-drenched Mediterranean hillside. Its strong, pine-like fragrance is invigorating and comforting, reflecting the potent volatile compounds in its needle-like leaves. For centuries, rosemary has been more than a culinary staple, a symbol of remembrance, part of traditional remedies, and a fragrant presence in homes and gardens. My goal was active engagement with its purported benefits, day in and day out. My 30-day routine was simple and sustainable. Each morning, I brewed rosemary tea, steeping a small sprig for about 5 minutes. A potted rosemary plant sat on my desk during the workday. I consciously added fresh or dried rosemary to meals, finely chopped into dressings sprinkled over roasted vegetables or baked into bread. The plan: consistent low-level exposure to its chemicals, observing cumulative effects rather than overnight change. This trial came from a belief that overlooked plants hold potential. As a botanist and gardener, I'm fascinated by plant chemistry and its link to human biology. Rosemary, Salvia rosmarinus, is rich in phytochemicals scientists are still studying. This essay chronicles that 30-day experience, blending personal notes with established science to show what rosemary can and can't do. Before delving into the benefits, it's worth appreciating that rosemary isn't a single monolithic entity. It's a diverse family with numerous cultivars: growth, appearance, flavor, aroma. For my experiment, I primarily used Tuscan Blue, a classic upright variety known for its robust flavor, broad resinous leaves, of vigorous, tall structure, a handsome garden specimen, high oil content. Its fragrance is particularly pronounced, perfect for my desk-side companion and morning tea ritual. Another popular variety, ARP, celebrated for exceptional cold hardiness flavor, slightly less intense than Tuscan Blue. Its resilience makes it a reliable choice. Then there's Prostratus, trailing rosemary. It spreads low and wide, cascading beautifully over walls or the edges of pots. Its leaves are typically smaller, and it's a prolific flowerer. Great ornamental ground cover, Blue Spires, offers a distinctly upright columnar form, almost like a miniature evergreen sentinel, ideal for formal hedges or as a structural background plant. Conversely, Salem is known for its milder, gentler taste. Its delicate flavor is perfect for fresh applications, finely minced into salads or incorporated into lighter sauces, where a stronger rosemary might overwhelm. But these variations allow for a perfect fit for any garden or palate. Carnosic acid, rosmarinic acid, influenced by genetics, growing conditions, harvest time. However, for the average home user, all types of rosemary contain these active ingredients to a meaningful degree. Whether you choose a trailing, upright, hardy, or mild variety, you are still tapping into the same fundamental wellspring of phytochemicals that makes this herb so interesting. My choice of Tuscan Blue was simply a matter of convenience and its potent aroma, which I felt was ideal for my multifaceted experiment. One of the most ancient and compelling claims about rosemary is its connection to memory and cognitive function. It wasn't just a symbol of remembrance for Shakespeare's Ophelia, it was a genuine belief rooted in centuries of use. My personal experience during the 30 days was subtle, yet distinct. Having a sprig on my desk seemed to create a bubble of focus. The gentle, pervasive aroma acted like a soft reset button for my concentration, particularly during the post-lunch slump. While this is anecdotal, modern science is beginning to provide an explanation. The key lies in a compound called 1,8-cineol, a primary component of rosemary's essential oil. This volatile molecule is small enough to be absorbed into the bloodstream through inhalation. Aroma molecules, lungs, blood, brain research, like a study from Northumbria University, explored this directly. Participants were exposed to varying levels of rosemary aroma. Researchers found a direct correlation between blood levels of 1,8-cineol and cognitive performance. Higher levels were linked to improved speed and accuracy in memory and alertness tests, suggesting the aroma can have measurable physiological effects. The proposed mechanism is elegant. Scientists think 1,8-cineol may inhibit the breakdown of acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is crucial for communication between nerve cells and central to learning memory. Section 4. A bodyguard in a leaf, antioxidants and immune support. Beyond its effects on the brain, rosemary is a veritable treasure trove of antioxidants. During my 30-day experiment, I didn't get sick, which, for early spring, felt like a minor victory. While I can't definitively credit the rosemary, it's impossible to ignore the robust science detailing its protective properties. The herb is particularly rich in two powerful antioxidant compounds, carnosic acid, rosmarinic acid. These molecules are the plant's natural defense system, and when we consume them, they can lend us some of their protective power, acting as diligent bodyguards for our cells. Antioxidants function by neutralizing unstable molecules known as free radicals. You can think of free radicals as tiny rogue agents that ricochet around our bodies, causing damage to cells, proteins, DNA. This cumulative damage is a major contributor to the aging process and is implicated in a host of chronic health conditions. The carnosic and rosmarinic acid in rosemary are exceptionally good at finding and stabilizing these free radicals, effectively disarming them before they can cause harm and helping to maintain cellular integrity and overall health. This protective action extends to supporting our immune system. In addition to its antioxidant capacity, rosemary has demonstrated significant antibacterial properties, antifungal properties in numerous laboratory studies. Extracts from the plant have been shown to inhibit the growth of various common pathogens. While sipping rosemary tea is not a substitute for proper hygiene or medical treatment, incorporating it into a healthy lifestyle can be seen as adding another layer of defense. By helping to manage the microbial load and reducing oxidative stress, rosemary can help free up the immune system's resources to focus on more significant threats. Throughout my month-long trial, I felt a general sense of robustness. Section 5. Calming the storm, rosemary for stress and inflammation. One of the more surprising and welcome effects I observed during my 30 days was a discernible calming influence. The daily ritual of preparing and sipping rosemary tea became a moment of quiet punctuation in my morning, a gentle buffer against the rush of the day. The aroma itself, invigorating for focus, also had a soothing quality in other contexts. This dual nature is striking, and science suggests measurable impacts on stress response and inflammatory pathways. Aromatherapy research has explored rosemary's aroma and stress reduction. Studies show inhaling rosemary essential oil can decrease cortisol levels in saliva. High cortisol is tied to the fight or flight response. It can contribute to anxiety. It can disrupt sleep. It underlies many health problems. By nudging cortisol down, rosemary's scent may shift the nervous system toward a relaxed, rest and digest state. That matches my experience, calming but not sedating. Beyond scent, ingested rosemary compounds appear to combat inflammation at the cellular level. Inflammation helps heal injury or infection, but chronic low-grade inflammation is destructive. Many modern ailments, joint pain. Section 6. Growing your own green pharmacy. Simple cultivation tips. Part of the joy of this experiment was having a living, breathing rosemary plant right on my desk. Growing your own is incredibly rewarding. It's far simpler than many people think, and it gives you a fresh, potent supply at your fingertips. The absolute #1 rule: plenty of sunlight. Rosemary is a Mediterranean native. It craves at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sun each day. If you're growing it indoors, a south-facing windowsill is ideal. Without enough light, the plant will become weak, leggy, and more susceptible to problems. The second golden rule is excellent drainage. Rosemary detests having its roots sit in waterlogged soil. That's the quickest way to invite root rot. When planting in a pot, choose one with ample drainage holes. Use a gritty, well-draining potting mix. You can easily create your own by amending standard potting soil. Add sand, add perlite, or fine gravel. When you water, do so thoroughly until water runs out the bottom. Then allow the top inch or two of soil to dry out completely before watering again. It's far more tolerant of being too dry than too wet. Pruning is not just for aesthetics, it's essential for health and productivity. Regularly snip off the tips of the stems. That encourages the plant to become bushier and more compact, instead of tall and sparse. Pruning also stimulates new, tender growth. That's the most flavorful for cooking. You can harvest leaves as needed throughout the year. Don't be afraid to give it a good trim back in spring. You can cut away up to a third of the plant to maintain its shape and vigor. This harvested foliage can be used fresh. or hung in small bundles to dry for later use. Finally, consider your climate. Some cultivars like ARP are quite cold hardy, but most rosemary varieties won't survive a harsh, freezing winter outdoors. If you live in a colder region, grow your rosemary in a pot. Enjoy it on a sunny patio or on a balcony during summer. Then bring it indoors to a bright, cool spot to overwinter. Section 7. Reflections on a month with rosemary. A hopeful conclusion. As my 30-day experiment came to a close, I took stock of the experience. There was no single dramatic transformation, no overnight miracle. Instead, what I found was a collection of small, positive, and cumulative shifts. The gentle uplift in my daily focus, the subtle sense of calm from the tea ritual, the general feeling of well-being were undeniable, even if they are impossible to quantify outside of a lab. My journey reinforced the idea that health is not always about grand interventions, but often about the consistent, small choices we make every single day. Rosemary became a simple, pleasant, and effective tool in that daily practice. The user-friendly nature of this herb is its greatest strength. It is accessible, affordable, and incredibly easy to incorporate into one's life. You don't need expensive supplements or complicated protocols. Growing a small pot on a windowsill, adding a sprig to your evening meal, brewing a simple tea, are all beautifully straightforward ways to engage with its benefits. This experiment has convinced me that rosemary deserves to be seen as more than just a seasoning for lamb or potatoes. It is a functional plant that can actively support cognitive function, reduce oxidative stress, and soothe the nervous system. It is, of course, crucial to maintain a realistic perspective. Rosemary is a powerful plant, but it is not a panacea. The scientific studies, while promising, are often preliminary, and the herb should be seen as a supportive element within a broader healthy lifestyle, not a replacement for medical advice or treatment. Particularly when using concentrated essential oils, caution is paramount. But when used safely and respectfully as a whole food and a gentle aroma, its potential for enhancing daily wellness is significant, backed by a fascinating blend of traditional wisdom and emerging science. Ultimately, my month with rosemary has left me with a renewed appreciation for the quiet power of the plants in our gardens. It has now become a permanent fixture in my daily routine, no longer an experiment but a cherished habit. I encourage you to try it for yourself. Start small. Place a plant in your kitchen, notice its scent, and enjoy its flavor. Observe how it makes you feel. You might be surprised by the profound sense of well-being that can be cultivated from a single, humble, and wonderfully aromatic herb. It's a simple step towards reconnecting with the natural world and the potent pharmacy it offers.